This is the time of year where we get very involved in meetings. And it really is like coming together to work together in a very different way. We start digging in. And I think we're at the earth element, digging in and finding out where we have to go. Digging in and finding out what we can find there together and bring it up to the surface, or loosen up the soil. And doing this work together, we're really building the foundation, grounding, and making the ground that we can work on for the next year together. And it seems so very important that we have this ground, this sacred ground, to come together on and work together. It really makes a difference. And to use that, to use this place and our practices to move through and come to a real place. And the interesting thing about earth is that it's very real. It's very real when you know something is there. You can touch it. You can stand on it. You can stand for it. You can make it a principle or value it and make it work for you. And so we come together to do that. We can start seeding it on a very fertile soil. And it's so amazing when you actually realize what we're living on and what it's creating. The first chakra in the Kundalini system is earth, creative, the creative power. And if you look at all the flowers, everything that's so astonishingly beautiful, and it's just an amazing array of creativity to think that each one of those things are made of the same elements as us. The soil of this earth, the air, the water. So there's an intelligence there that we can come to and come to understand why we're here. And we can understand that the soil can lift us into the light and air and the harvest so that everyone benefits. And I remember the first workshop that I came to at the ashram, and it really felt like I didn't understand the earth I'd been living on, and it was a very two-dimensional world. And just taking that spirit, that seed at that point changed how I viewed what I'd been given, what had been growing. So it's always planting that seed for the divine in a place that we can access. So here we have a body that's very concrete, made of the same elements. And where do we place that kernel? Where do we place that seed? How do we build that foundation of character, of courage, and of awareness? So that reality of the earth always gives me that sense of the consequences when my mind just thinks of ideas and ideas and ideas. I really have to do something that's concrete. Build something, whatever it is, inside me, outside of me, solid. So when the soil is worked and tilled, and it's like all of the things, I think of composting all of the past and aerating the present with light, then it really makes a difference in how things grow. And we can see it around here. We can see it in the garden. Everyone goes out to the garden, very peaceful. Whether you're dealing with weeds or the fruits, it's all there. And so with that kind of work, we become more flexible in our ideas. So rooting that divine seed or that plant, what's it going to be? How's it going to grow? How's it going to mature? Things don't happen really, really fast on Earth. They take a long time for us to get 45 years for this place to be where it is today. And we're still building, and we still need to renovate, and we still need to grow more things. But like the plants, we have the opportunity to give back. They're always giving back. Once we water and care for them, we get something. Delicious food on our table. Beautiful berries and fruits to eat. Wonderful shade. Wonderful living places to be. And it's interesting that the teachings are called evergreen, like a tree that's evergreen. And as I read through the material of Swami Radha and hear the tapes, it's over and over and over. She's giving the teachings out, and they're the same. But over and over, from probably the time of the earth coming here, there may have been different robes and different people, but there was the teachings in some form that was understandable. So we have a form that's understandable to us. And we have to make sure that they're real, that we really want them and we're going to use them. And so each time the teachings are a preparation for your next step, another dimension in your path, another dimension in your being. And I remember Swami Radha asking me, now, do you want this next initiation? Like, are you prepared for that next dimension? Maybe it's a dimension of work, or giving, or caring, or understanding. And I said yes, because I wanted that kind of support that she could give me behind me. And in a dream at that time, she said, if you want to kiss my cheek, you have to stand on the ground. So if you want to come close, you have to be grounded. The two have to work together. We're ground, we're earth, and we're spirit and light. So have that place within inside you, in your cave, where the light can exist and that you can access. So that you can be intimate with your own self. Accept the seed and let it grow. I have a little apricot tree in my yard, a little tiny, but it's got blossom this year and it has a few apricots on. And I've been waiting for the apricots to ripen. And they go through these different stages, like they're just tiny little things, green things, little balls on the end, and then they grow bigger. And then they have this time where it takes them a really long time. I think there's not going to be much, are they going to do it or not? Are they going to get rained out or blown down? And a couple of branches did come off or swayed way down. But they had to be growing the kernel inside. That seems to be a really hard part to do. It takes a longer time, and then they start to flesh out, and now they're turning slightly orange. So I just think that's really a good way to think of it, that you have to put a lot of effort to get your kernel really situated so the rest of you can plump out in the light and become colorful in who you really are. There's just those miracles that happen all the time around Earth that we sort of just step on, but we really should bow down to and honor her and hope that she can come to peace. So having things happen here is happening on a sacred ground, heaven on earth.